When it comes to finding money for college, every family wants to know what the best college scholarship websites are. So they just want to be told, hey, give me a URL and send me there so that we can just put in the details and get a nice list for our student. Now, if you know where to look, it can make a huge difference when it comes to not just the amount of time that you and your student have to spend on scholarships, but also their chances of success. And this is coming from personal experience because at first I spent an entire year searching in the wrong places and applying to the wrong scholarships. And as you're probably not surprised to hear, not hearing any kind of win results back. Now, I've had so many families find us at the scholarship system all frustrated because they've tried it on their own and they say that they've applied to dozens of scholarships, but they haven't heard back from a single one. And 9 times out of 10, I would say, they are applying in the wrong places. So make sure you watch this entire video because I'm going to cover exactly where you do want to look for money, and I'm actually going to share where my favorite place is at the end. Now, don't forget to hit subscribe because this is just the tip of the iceberg. Of course, building that list is super important, and that's the first step, but then we have writing the essays. I'm going to share videos on how to be more competitive than other applicants and so many other strategies on securing a debt-free degree. Hello, my name is Jocelyn Pearson, founder of the Scholarship System, where we teach families how to build strong financial futures by avoiding student loan debt. Now, our main weapon against student loan debt is scholarships. This is my bread and butter. In fact, I received 6 figures in scholarships, and we've since helped families secure over $7 million in scholarships to help pay for school. So it's safe to say we've been around the block a few times when it comes to finding the best websites. Now, one of the biggest reasons why our families have a higher average and a higher success rate than most families is because we teach them where to find legitimate scholarships with less competition. Now, there are 2 main different types of searches that we're doing when it comes to finding scholarships. There are searches for college scholarships, so merit-based money through the universities, and then we search for private scholarships. This can be given by any kind of organization out there. I'm going to give you 9 different websites between the 2 categories. Now, one disclaimer, I'm not saying to ignore these websites. Every family should check them out, but I will say that this is actually one of our last search methods in the scholarship system. We have a different one that I personally prefer that I'm going to give you a free training to at the end of this training. So stick around, I'll tell you how to get that. But that said, after using the scholarship system methods to find the scholarships that I think are the best, we do then suggest going to these websites. So that's why I want to give you that list. Let's start off with merit college scholarships. So this is money given through the university. Now, this can be in 2 different kinds where it can be automatic merit aid. This is where your student just has to meet certain criteria and they automatically receive that scholarship. Or there can be competitive merit aid where your student may have to also compete or do an interview or write essays, etc. So there are 3 main websites that I prefer for families to see if they might have chances of getting merit money from a university. The first is College Navigator. This is by NCES. So this is a .gov website. If you just Google College Navigator, you'll find the link, but I will also link to that below in the description. Now, this is a great way to put in your students' criteria and see if they have a chance of getting any kind of money from the university. The next website is collegedata.com, another great website for the same reason. And the third is College Board. So College Board has its own merit money search where you can put in your students' criteria and find out what schools fit their criteria, but also you can remove financial need, for example, if your family is not going to be eligible for that, and just see what kind of money they offer to students that don't have financial need, for example. Now, these websites are great to see your students' stats stacked up against what the school typically gives money for. You can also just go to the university's websites and see if they list out the criteria for their automatic aid awards. So if you go to their financial aid department, typically they list their big scholarships and you can see what kind of SAT or ACT scores or GPA your student would need in order to get money from them. So those are just a few when it comes to finding money from colleges. I know that a lot of you are more focused on these private scholarships because these can be used at pretty much any accredited university. And a lot of times this can be done even if your university offered your student very little money. So these private scholarships are what I'm about to get into. Before I get into private scholarships, I want you to comment below, what websites have you and your student been using to find private scholarships? This might be a website that the guidance counselor or an advisor suggested. Let me know in the comments below because I can probably guess which ones they are, and most likely a few of them are not on my list, but I want to go ahead and check them out just in case, and I can let you know if you want to continue searching on those sites. Okay, so I have 6 websites in this category. So the first one I want to share is Bold. So if you go to thescholarshipsystem.com/bold, it'll take you to the right page to search for scholarships. This is a newer website and I've actually personally met with them. I really do like where they're coming from. Because they're newer, they are making a better effort to keep out any kind of sweepstakes or spam kind of scholarships in there, and they have some local ones that typically wouldn't be on some of the bigger search engines that a lot of counselors do recommend. So the scholarshipsystem.com/bold can take you there. The next one that I absolutely love, and this is probably one of my favorites, is JLV College Counseling. She has done an amazing job with building out lists. Now, the thing with this website is, of course, you can't punch in, my student is this many years old, in this grade, majoring in this, and then just get this nice list formulated for you. However, I'm going to tell you right now that that's actually a good thing because a lot of students, when they go to this website, they see that they have to comb through all of the scholarships, and so they just kind of leave the website. That's fine by us because those of us willing to do the combing and willing to do the searching can apply to scholarships that have less competition because we're willing to do the work. So that said, this website is not as easy as some of the other search engines, but in my opinion, it has way more legitimate scholarships and it also has a little bit less competition because of that. Now, the third website is a very well-known one, and this is Scholly. Scholly is actually, it was on Shark Tank, and they did a great job with making a user-friendly platform to search for scholarships. In fact, sometimes I'll even take a look through there to see what they have. But the only thing is with this and any of these websites is you want to make sure that you're keeping an eye out for any kind of sweepstakes or scholarship scams. I'm going to share a link to a video that I have on how to spot scholarship scams and how to find legitimate scholarships. That way, when you're using these search engines, you know exactly what to look for and what to avoid. So we'll link to that YouTube video in the description. You can also just subscribe to our channel and then you will be alerted once that is released. Now, this website, you do have to sift, okay? So just make sure that you and your student are keeping an eye out. You don't want to apply to any of those sweepstakes scams, but I have seen some pretty good local ones on this search engine. Now, the next one I want to cover is Broke Scholar. Very user-friendly. I'm a fan of this website. No complaints here. As always, with any of them, you want to make sure that you're careful with which ones your student is applying to, but this can be a great additional resource. Then we have the Chegg scholarship search. I have been a big fan of Chegg. Actually, in fact, since I was in college, I love their mission. I love that they started a new system on renting books and they plant trees and all of this stuff. So that said, their search engine is also very clean, very user-friendly. So I do recommend them. And then I have 2 more. So the next one is Raise Me. This one's a little bit unique where students can do certain things in order to raise micro scholarships towards a university. So I've seen students where it's very easy work and the university will give them a little bit of money towards the bill. So I think that it doesn't hurt for them to check this out if they are interested in that. So see if the university is on there and if they're offering some sort of scholarship towards it. But Raise Me is worth at least looking at. And so if you've been counting, actually that gets us to 9, but I'm going to mention a 10th one. The reason I say in this video I'm going to cover 9 is because this 10th one is one we actually technically already covered, but we're going to use it in a different way, and that is College Board. So College Board, earlier I mentioned you can use to find college scholarships, but they also have a search engine to find private scholarships. So College Board, of course, they are so involved in the college process, so they have their fingers in a lot of different things when it comes to preparing your student for college. So they do have a good search engine as well. Now, I want to give just a few more tips before we wrap up. So one thing that I did mention earlier was that these websites, while we do use them as kind of a last resort, they are not my favorite way to find scholarships, because the thing is, every student is going to these websites to find scholarships. You'll notice that I left out some very popular ones. Again, I'm going to wait for your comments to see which ones you were told to use, and I can reply back down below. So if you're curious which ones those are, comment below and I'll get back to you. But that said, my favorite method is very unique. We don't use these search engines. And so what I'm going to do is link to a free training below that's about 45 minutes long, where I walk you through my favorite method to finding legitimate scholarships with less competition. So make sure you sign up for that free training and take advantage of this resource, because again, that will help your family build a list that's different from all the other students, so that your student isn't competing against 100,000 students for, say, the Dr. Pepper scholarship. Instead, we want to find the ones that have just a handful of applicants, so a lot easier to win, but also we know that they are from legitimate sources rather than scholarship sweepstakes or scams, etc. So again, make sure that you register for that free training. I'm going to link to that below. The last recommendation I want to make with all of this is, when going to these websites, I really recommend families create a separate email address. So you can make this something professional, like jocelynscholarships@gmail.com. And this helps keep your inbox clean and your student's inbox clean. So the other benefit of this is that then whenever you and your student are working on scholarships, you can log into that scholarship inbox and only focus on scholarships rather than any kind of other emails that are popping up. So I really recommend doing that. It'll help save your life. In fact, actually, the email that I used when I was applying to the wrong ones, it has over 21,000 unread messages now because of signing up for a lot of the search engines, and they started sending me a ton of stuff. So in the end, I had to create a new email, so I really regret using my main email address for that. So please take it from me. This is from personal experience. Create a separate email for your student for the scholarship search engines. So there you have it. So technically you got 10, but really 9 websites on where to find college scholarships. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, don't forget to click subscribe, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. And give us a thumbs up if you found this helpful. That always tells me that I'm doing my best and making sure that I'm providing helpful resources for you and your family. So again, my name is Jocelyn with the Scholarship System, and I will see you in the next video.